Just because you have one of these does not mean you have the right to use it when you're mad. Folks, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist. Please do stay for this video. You probably heard 77-year-old American deals in the worst possible way with a roadblock in Panama and two people end up, well, here is where I would appreciate if you stick around so as to learn from realistic situations. Personally, I've gone through stuff like this hundreds of times. Roadblocks, people blocking the street, people doing it in a far more violent manner than what you see here. That was daily activity for me for years, right? Before I go on, if you want to learn from such experience like mine and a ton of other situations that most people have not lived through, I strongly recommend that you get my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. These will be super useful for when you deal with situations like these and far worse as things continue to degrade. That is more likely to be the case one of these days for you wherever it is that you are. And you want to learn from people that have gone through these things and dealt with it in a far better way. You don't go shooting people happily just because you're mad. If you have one of these, besides training, it's a matter of self-control. Just because someone insults you, calls you names, blocks the street, does something that upsets you, does not give you the right to go shooting. You use these things on the as a last resort when there's really, honestly, no other option. It is your life or you do something about it. That's the only moment in which you use these. And having the training will certainly help you into making that even less likely. The better trained you are, the more aware you are of your surroundings, the less likely you are to even need it. Yeah, that's simply how it works. Because you're on top of things. You assess potential dangerous people around you before they actually act, and that probably gives you the upper hand. And if you have the upper hand and you draw before they do and you have the drop on them, there's a good chance that they will just go pop. They back down. And if they do that, you don't have a right to shoot them, and you shouldn't shoot them even if you think you can get away, because first of all, it's morally wrong. Honestly, I mean, seriously, we have to be adults about this. You only do that when there's no option left, when your life is in danger. If that guy backs down, good for him. I'm happy that he goes home, and hopefully he will reassess his life. And if not, well, that's not on me, man. I just kept myself safe, my family safe. I don't need to put a bullet on that guy. I don't need the pain in the ass of having to deal with that shit show if it ends up happening. Now, I don't have any option left. Okay, that's how it goes. This is a perfect example of a man, a 77-year-old child that loses his cool. No, you don't do that. And another aspect of this video, the lies, the political agenda, the editorial line. American shoots climate activists. No, these were not climate. Do you see anything different? I want you guys to reach this point before. Do you see anything different from this scene? This scene right there, just this blurry image. Do you see a difference between this and your BLM typical riot? These guys are not attacking the man. The man is just standing there. He's arguing. He's complaining. The guy is with his hands on the hips and so on. They were blocking the street. That upsets you. Again, unlike most of you guys watching this, I deal with this 100 times. Trying to go to work, trying to go to school, trying to go to classes, trying to get my kid to the hospital when he was sick. At no moment did I even consider getting out of my car and start shooting people. That is not how you react. Now, are there moments in which you're being attacked and you have no other options? Of course. Probably you want to use a vehicle, which is a far better weapon than just shooting a small projectile, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm talking about. Again, the kind of stuff I wrote specifically regarding that sort of thing, specifically addressed here. You keep on moving with your vehicle, which is far safer than getting out. In fact, probably if we are going to be analyzing potential solutions for something like this, if you just have to get across, you find your way around. I saw that there's just a couple rocks on the streets. Dude, if you have a pickup truck, SUV, which you definitely should, living in damn Panama, you just drive around that and go on, okay? And if you have to turn around, maybe you go turn around and find some other route to get wherever you need to go. Or you go home and you take a big old chill pill. But you don't do this. No, these are not BLM killing Whitey. And these are not even climate activists. Actually, these guys are protesting an open-air operation, a mining operation from a Canadian company that is mining copper, that is ripping apart hundreds and hundreds of acres of jungle and polluting the water in the region. There's a very good chance that these guys actually live there and they don't want to have their water polluted. I know how these things go because it happens the same thing in Argentina, also with a Canadian mining company mining gold and throwing in the water cyanide, of all things. And yes, people are kind of pissed by that, and they should, because you're not protesting climate change, my friend. This is not an 18-year-old commie protesting and blocking the oil companies in the middle of London that never worked a day in their lives. No, these are people that live in those damn jungles, and they don't want those destroyed or polluted with shit in the water that they drink and their kids drink as well. It's all a matter of perspective. It is not the same thing. The guy that works in that place and his own country and has some foreign company destroy his land and pollute his water than some idiot that thinks that cow farting is causing climate change, when it's actually a natural occurrence throughout history, right? It's been that way for millions of years. Climate simply changes. We've gone through numerous ages, and we'll go through even more, and it's simply that's the way it goes. But losing your cool, opening, again, I'm trying hard not to get demonetized here, but you see, this is the guy that gets it. He was standing there with a stake, a flag. He was not being hostile. Boom. And the other one, the same thing. Moments later, this one gets, and he was not jumping on the guy. He was just standing there as you see him. And the guy, a few seconds later, he goes, boom, to the other one too. He will probably end up his life in prison, and he definitely should. But you want to avoid these things. Keep your cool. Just someone doing something you don't like does not give you the right to shoot them. And at the end of the day, it's not only wrong what you're doing, killing people like that, you'll probably ruin your own life as well in the process. See you on our next video. Take care.